Hey, welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts. You're catching me on my YouTube channel, True Divine 44. Let me know in the comments if this mic and headset is working, rather than using the big, bulky headset of my son's. He took the other ones that I ordered that he uses for the Xbox. So I'm hoping that these work. They are a bit more sleek and easy to wear, especially when you've got sunglasses and things on your head. So this is part of the free content that I put out on a daily basis to help support, guide and inspire those who want to be supported, guided and inspired. Take what resonates as usual, because it is general, leave what does not. You can find me on Bitchute at True Divine 44. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at The True Divine. I've started doing the oracle cards on Instagram, and when I've got time, I'll put them on YouTube too. I don't know how you I don't know if you can dual that or whatever you would call it, streamcast it, whatever you would call it. I don't know, but I'll try and figure that out if you can or if you can't. So this is for the 2nd of December 2020. Okay, so we've got a lot going on in people's lives, haven't we? And but have we ever not? You know, we're all trying to figure out why we're here, what we're doing, and we've all been distracted a lot as to what we feel are issues that we should be causing for ourselves or dealing with. And so we're unpicking this, we're unlocking this, and it is a process, and it can feel repetitive at times, especially in a year like the year that we've had in just 2020. So be kind to yourself, you know, don't shoot the messenger, and just take what you can and do what you can each day. That's all you can do. Actually, no, that's not all you can do. You can always expand yourself a bit further. It's like those stretching exercises. You go a little bit further than you thought you could go in the first one. You know, you stretch, you move. As long as you're moving, making progress, you're doing well. So we've got, for the first card, we've got the Hermit again. Number 9 being very apparent over the last few days. This is a major arcana, and this is the blind warrior that goes within, that you as this energy are not afraid to go within and face things that you've previously locked away, previously hidden in your shadows. This warrior uses his intuition and inner waters to go into that inner world, that inner cosmos inside, to explore and see what is there that needs to be looked at. Now, things happen in our lives and the Hermit card crops up, and sometimes that can make people shiver down the spine, because if they've been listening to tarot a bit, they get used to the fact that the Hermit card crops up when things are starting to go to shit in your life, in a lot of cases. And that's more because if we haven't been listening to ourselves, if we haven't been listening to that inner voice, that intuition, and we've been locking things away, which over the years get more and more distorted, more and more ignored, more and more disfigured, more and more frightening to face, then we see that that things on the outside in our lives eventually start to unravel, and it's actually that it's not that the Hermit is anything but benevolent. It's a benevolent energy. It's a benevolence towards self when you can use it in your life. But we often don't do that. So, you know, it takes us to almost getting crisis on the outside, things to start falling apart, before we'll take the hint, we'll take the invitation from our inner grounds to explore our inner grounds and look at what needs to be looked at. Because yes, others can be involved. Yes, cruelty from others can cause harm, but there's always something within you. There's always a co-creator within you that is helping create that. Maybe you're accepting behavior that you know damn well you shouldn't be accepting, or accepting behavior that you've been trained to think is not abnormal, but your inner voice is telling you very much is. So there's always something that we can take our sovereignty and divinity back, and not be labeled as a victim, but actually as a warrior, that warrior that isn't afraid to look at self honestly. And there's nothing more attractive, there's nothing more outstanding than coming across somebody who's not afraid of themselves, who's not afraid of any aspect of themselves, even things that they're ashamed of that they've done in the past, that they can be honest about it and they can learn from it and take something forward from it rather than it being left in a corner somewhere within where it's going to get distorted, disfigured, discolored, and come out like some like garish monster, wobbling around and ready to jump you because you haven't been listening to it. So this is where we take the hint. This is where we act in advance. And so maybe this isn't acting in advance because things are going a little bit too shit if this reading resonates with you, but you are in time still. You're on time still to get this done. So with that being said, we have the Queen of Swords to clarify this Hermit energy. And so the Queen of Swords, you might be coming across as really standoffish at the moment, step backish. And this is necessary because you need as little external noise as possible. You need as little external distraction as possible right now in order to be able to incorporate this Hermit energy into your life and to be able to take the time to do what you have obviously been afraid to do because it's coming up as a prompt now in your life to still go within. And the mistake is to think that a reading resonated with you last week, yesterday, or 3 weeks ago, or a year ago, and the Hermit card came up. The Hermit card should be a continuous process. Anybody who has a garden, anybody who knows somebody with a garden, you know that you've got to work it all year round. I leave my garden, I've got a big garden, and so I leave my garden for a week, and it looks like, especially in the summer, it looks like I'm just a neglectful garden owner. I just don't care that the grass is so big because it shoots up, it takes over, it says, okay, you're not gonna maintain me. I'm gonna run ragged over here. I'm gonna make sure you have the lawn. I argue with the grass a lot. I'm going to make sure that you have to work even harder to get me trimmed and neighbourly looking. I do have those arguments with the grass a lot. I've actually tried to meditate hard enough so that the grass will just automatically be my friend and shrink back down. Like those dolls where you do the handle and the hair grows, or you pull it up and the hair goes back in. I've done that frequently. It doesn't work. The garden makes me go in it. The garden makes me get all involved in it, get all mucky in it, and maintain that if I want the dividends of it looking good. And the same energy after that ramble is the Hermit card. It's a constant process, especially when we're unpicking wounds and things that we've hidden because they've hurt us bad, because they've had a dramatic effect on us. So the Queen of Swords is the type of energy that is a bit stand back, a bit standoffish, likes her own time to herself, likes to be in her own zone, likes to observe rather than being too involved at times. And then she likes to step in when she's got what she needs from observing, and she takes action. She takes no shit. She slices through things with a sword of truth. And so the Queen of Swords is also of wisdom and intellect, thoughts, and so the Queen of Swords is very good at being able to categorize things and being able to say, okay, so we need to deal with this now. And she's very brave. She's on the sword throne because she's been through hell to get there. She's had to learn how to control this and not have too much mind in things, but have enough mind in things to think with intent, and take action with intent. And so when you're going into this Hermit energy today, it might be that you have like is it a deluge where you just have this poof wave of thoughts, coming over you, that the Queen of Swords energy has to step forward and say, okay, that's a thought. I acknowledge that, but that's actually superfluous to what we need to look at right here. That is an argument that happened because of the key issue. Let's look at that. And she's very good at taking you down layer by layer by layer. The Hermit card is very good at holding that lantern, holding that space and time while you do that. So just to understand yourself more, or indeed if this is somebody in your life that you're close to, you can know what's happening here. You can know that actually this has got very little to do with you. This is all to do with them and their journey and their acknowledgement and taking the key prompt from the intuition to do this inner work. So it means you can understand that more and you can make space and time for that so that you can either accomplish that in yourself if it's you, or give space, and time to the person that it is in your life. Understanding. So the next card is the number 8, which is another major arcana, the strength card. And this is the balance of, the infinity cycle that, we go on. And so where we avoid this hermit energy, and this is where we've gotten too serious about the game, because we've been so hung up about burying something that we're ashamed of, or not dealing with a wound that we think will hurt too much. This is where we have gotten too hooked into and hinged to the game, in that we're frightened of the judgment if we just be honest with ourselves and be an honest interpretation of ourselves after doing the inner work of the hermit. The Queen of Swords energy is great at being honest about who she is, and not caring about the judgment of others, not caring, but learning how to not allow it to affect her. And so where we have this strength, that is incorporated in this, in that to know that we're infinite beings and we're infinite sources of energy that go on. And so, yes, where things are serious and things have a serious impact and have serious feelings, it's all part of the game. It's all part of the process of having the gift of being here in this reality, that as light beings from wherever you're from, being able to experience it in this type of body, in this type of meat suit, with the sensations, with this type of nervous system that allows us to feel and touch and smell and taste. All of those things are gifts that are taken too lightly. And when we take them too lightly, we get too hooked into the game. And then when we get too hooked into the game, we're so afraid of judgment, we avoid the hermit energy even more. So to have the strength to recognize that you are this infinite, expansive, beautiful being, is important, to give you the strength to be able to see that you just need to make some moves. You just need to roll some dice, and so you have this intuitive side of you, this divine feminine side of you, able to prise the jaws open of your divine masculine side, the lion. In a lot of cases, I think for those that resonate with this reading today, it's a lot of masculine energy, whether you're male or female, that has been putting off this hermit energy, that has been trying to tread water in certain situations in their life, that it's the need for this divine feminine to be able to come forward and have the strength and compassion to prize this divine masculine energy's jaws open, having yourself be open to the hermit energy, having yourself be open to exploring self before you continuously try and put more and more energy into fixing your external. That ain't ever going to work until you've got that internal in balance and in flow. And so that's where the strength and fortitude comes from this. Now, as a clarifying card for this, we've got the Devil card. Now, this speaks to the chains that bind you to your lower frequency. And I'm picking up a lot that people maybe who have had addictions in the past, during this time, stresses have come down and those old urges are welling up, that haven't been truly dealt with this hermit energy of either wanting to go back into that addiction just to feel numb a little bit, or already doing so. So if that's the case, these are chains that bind you, and you've learned this lesson once, twice, thrice before. And so it's a case of you need this strength, you need this intuitive side of you, this compassionate side of you to take the hint, to know that never going to fix the external in your life without dealing with this internal chain that is binding you to a lower frequency self that is not built on firm foundations. So this is the key, to go back into that and see the root of that. Not just, yes, I was addicted, and yes, I had a really strong willpower, and yes, I got off whatever I was addicted to. I'm healed. No, that is, yeah, you did well, you do well at showing willpower, but what actually got you into the addiction in the first place? Track that right back. What childhood memories do you have where you felt degraded, or where you felt that you needed to numb as an adult once you realized what had happened to you, etc., etc.? Put it into your own story. Um, it also speaks of the certain energies here that continuously keep on bringing up relationships, close relationships, and that there's an imbalance here. It's not working. And so there's certain emotional chains that needs to be looked at in the Hermit card and the Queen of Swords card, as to why you allow yourself to be chained to something that lowers your frequency, why you allow your self to be chained to something that does not uplift you, um, and why you've allowed it to go on for so long. Um, and this is difficult, of course it is, but it's only as difficult as you make it. Again, the game, if relationships have expanded in and out of each other, and now actually you're damaging each other. And I'm not talking about people who just squabble and then, oh, I'm splitting up, that's ridiculous. But when you've had this continuous cycle that keeps repeating, that then keeps driving you into your lower frequency of whatever chains it is that bind you, then this has got to stop. This has got to be processed properly. And again, to be able to do that, you have to repeat back to the Hermit card and the Queen of Swords energy to figure out, okay, so is it a case of the relationship is out of whack and in imbalance because I've got imbalance within myself? Is it that if I heal myself and do this inner journey into my inner cosmos, is it that all of a sudden there'll be some kind of key that balances out this relationship? Or am I afraid of doing this Hermit energy because I'm afraid of the emotional cords, the emotional chains that are binding me to this relationship? And that is why I've been avoiding doing the Hermit energy, because I pretty much know what answer I'm going to get, in that I'm holding on to this as a crutch for something that I've gotten over in the past, i.e., an addiction or an emotional abuse, physical abuse. So there's many ways that this can be interpreted for so many people, with it being a general reading. But it is key knowledge for everybody to know that it always starts from within, always. And you can't really start to even figure out the external before you're brave enough and have the fortitude and strength enough to face your inner devil, your inner demons, and be able, with the Hermit card energy and that sword of truth from that Queen of Swords, to chisel them into firm foundational diamonds rather than inner demons that will help lift your frequency, help you stand upon firm foundations in order to reach high consciousness, high vibe. And so the next card is the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. And so this card has a wide array of meanings, in that it's the physical people around you, it's wealth, and it's wealth in whatever interpretation you see as wealth, i.e. the caliber of people that you have around you, the type of home that you have, the type of income that you have, the sustainability that you have, all of that and above, all of that and more. But what it's saying here is that, this is the external manifestation of the internal being, just needing to be looked at. And it's a process. It's that continuous process. And it gets easier. The more continuous you are with it, the more you just need to go in your inner gardens and give it a quick turnover, and it's done. As I said before, I leave my grass for a week, 2 weeks in the summer, bang, it's a jungle. If I go out there, every few days and just maintain it, half an hour's work will maintain it nicely. Um, so it's part of incorporating this energy into your life, but it's about figuring out that, and this is only you can answer this, is this a case of the external is showing up this way because of me affecting it directly because my internal is out of balance? And or is this an external manifestation of my almost like a reflection of my old wounds and old abuses that I haven't gotten over? Am I with somebody that isn't totally like the person that abused me or hurt me, but has quite a good reflection of that energy? Um, you'll have to incorporate it into your life as and where it fits. But, and this is the good bit, I need a drum roll. We've got the Ten of Pentacles to clarify the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. And so this is where you flip the script. This is where doing this hermit work energy with the perseverance, strength, intellect, and wisdom of the Queen of Swords with the Sword of Truth, having the strength and fortitude and compassion and intuition to sustain the journey within, to be able to face your inner devil, your inner monsters, your inner demons, to turn them and transmute them and chisel them into inner diamonds, to firm foundations where your foundations are being ripped away from you. And this might still be the case because there might be a reflection of your broken inner ground. Either way, you're going to turn out with the Ten of Pentacles in the upright, which is financial abundance, or it is the right caliber of people around you, or it is wealth in your physical being, i.e. your health, or it is wealth in the way you are sustainable, the kind of home that you have, the kind of car that you have, the things that you can feel, touch, and smell and enjoy. And so this is true alignment as it is the 10. So we've got, if you're doing this work and you're brave enough to do this work, you've got the ending of a cycle in the 10 of Pentacles, which was a reality that might have looked good. Other people might have assumed you've got it good, but actually it just didn't do it for you. It was lowering your frequency, to now the 10 of Pentacles in full alignment, which is true abundance, which really fires you up. It gives you this yin and yang. You can see that one tree is black, one tree is white, representing the yin and the yang, the divine feminine, divine masculine, that yin and yang wheel turning rather than it just struggling in the middle and running off the road. Maybe it's time that certain aspects of your reality will be run off the road, will be surplus to need or requirement anymore. And that might feel a little hurtful, but doing the Hermit energy card here, going within, you'll see that actually it was only ever hurtful for as long as you have this devil inside that is tying you to this, that has this certain energetic, emotional, or spiritual cord that is chaining you to a lower frequency that does not match you, when all the while you have this 10 of Pentacles waiting for you, just there for you, waiting for you to turn these keys, use this lantern to shed light on what needs to change in your internal world and therefore your external world. So it all works out in the end, as it always does if you choose it to do so. So on the bottom of the deck, we've got the Four of Swords. This represents meditation, the need to meditate, the need, like we said, for the Hermit energy, to have time to yourself, to be able to reflect, to be able to feel safe and secure enough that you can go within, go into deep trance within and explore your darkest corners. To see what is fruitful there, what you can learn from it, what you can let go, and what you can use as fertilizer. and truly recognize it for what it is, a lot of shit that you don't need to be carrying around. So this is about, harnessing that gift that we all have. And meditation is, bandied about so much, and as it should be. But I feel like sometimes we have an oversaturation of stuff. So then people just take the word for granted, say that they'll do it. And then when they do it, they find that it's quite hard. If you haven't been challenging yourself regularly to be this hermit and be quiet and go within into your inner grounds and cut off the external, it's quite hard at first. Your mind's shooting questions at you, ridiculous questions like, have we got loo roll? Have we got milk in the fridge? Have we got this? Have we got that? You know, ridiculous questions that you have to learn to acknowledge, let go. And you have to train yourself just as you would train your body when you're coming into physical exercise. You can't just go bang lifting the heaviest weights after doing no exercise at all. But with this meditation, I can do guided meditative practices with people during sessions, and they come out of body. They feel they can fly. They're flying. They're not even distracted by the pulse of their heart. That is all external. They're in the inner cosmos. They're uplifted. They're flying. They're able to be guided as and where they need to go. And so this happens. This is a gift that we can do, that we can train our body through breath work, through controlling the mind, through channeling our inner waters and firing up our fires or dimming that down when necessary. Also, being in control of our elements is meditative practice. And so this is so important. It can make you feel like you've been on the best psychedelic drugs. You go on a trip, you're tripping through the cosmos of your inner grounds. This is real. This happens. I guide people into this. It's not just me saying I can do it. It took me ages to shut off twittering on all the time my mind when I was trying to concentrate and trying to go within. So I can say it from my perspective, but now I can also say it from the perspective of helping many different other people from many different walks of life attain this and feel this. So I feel confident in letting you know that this is a capability of ours. And when we can do this, this is the true power of the Hermit card. This is when we can harness the true expansion and potential of what the Hermit energy can bring for us. Now, on the bottom of the other deck is, I haven't even looked at this one yet. That's not the Queen of Swords that was on there. I've gone and put the cards back on, haven't I? Come on, Jenny. Novice. Okay, so got the Ace of Coins. So the Ace of Coins with the 10 of Pentacles in the upright, having been in the reverse before in the other cards, this is perfect. This is new beginnings. This is true abundance. This is true physical bliss, in whatever physical bliss that you want to manifest and that you want to create. So, doing this work, going within, it means that I feel happy now knowing that whoever this resonates with, you know that you are capable of doing this and you give it the best shot ever and you achieve your goal. You release yourself from whatever burdens in your physical reality that are holding you back, that are chaining you down, and you find a way to have the 10 of Pentacles and then the Ace of Pentacles. This is your promise to yourself. This is what you can do. This is what you can achieve. There you go. Ta-da! So that's the reading for the 2nd of December. I hope it helps. For whoever it resonates with, you can do it. Absolutely, you can. Speaking abundance over everybody that listens to this, and the intent that you feel wealth in whatever aspect of your life you have intent to do so. If you'd like a personal reading with me, you can hook up with me at truedivinemedia@gmail.com. Or if you'd like any spiritual guidance sessions or energy work sessions, you can do the same with that same email. Or for any of those, you can message me on Facebook, my business page, True Divine 44. Love you all. I appreciate you all. Much love. Stay balanced and stay whole. Mwah.